There are aliens. Why do you think that there's Bigfoot? Have you seen a Bigfoot? Have you seen a UFO? Have you seen an alien?
I've seen several UFOs, and in one case, I had 50 people witness to it and even signing testimony, and that occurred in Egypt when I brought a group of spiritual journeyers through a sacred journey in Egypt, and I managed to get us into Hatshepsut's temple at 4 in the morning on our own. We were up on the top floor, and I had everybody lie down, and I said, look up, don't close your eyes, look up and watch the stars. And we saw a light come on immediately. It was like a beam suddenly turned on the night sky and started traversing right across the night sky. And this was a crystal clear night with very few stars, and there were stars, but the moon was not bright, so that the sky was very easy to observe. And this thing started to cross across the sky, and somebody said, "What is that? A satellite?" And this thing took a 90-degree turn.
Wow.
Now, that's your first clue that this is not a plane.
Well,
it was a perfect 90-degree turn. Then somebody else said,
how many years
ago
was
this? Oh, my God,
this?
is it... This was 2011.
Could it... Well...
And let me just finish the story, and then you decide. So it took the 90-degree turn, and then somebody else said, oh, my God, this is a UFO. It took another 90-degree turn and continued across the sky. And then somebody said, oh, my God, that looks like a UFO. And I said, hold on, they're not done yet. And then blink, another light went on in the sky and started doing, I'm talking somersaults. We were all breathless in the middle of the desert of Egypt. And it did somersaults, it did zigzags, and it was putting on a show for us. This was no plane. Now, one can rationalize this away as whatever you want to, but this was no plane, this was no fly.
Wow.
This was an unidentified flying object.
Any pictures?
Believe that. No. First of all, you can't get a photo of that when you're with a normal camera. You need all kinds of equipment to be able to do that, and we were just a bunch of spiritual people lying on the terrace of this temple. But we did have 50. Only one person didn't see it, and that's because her eyes were closed. She was meditating. And it's only one of many occurrences that I've had over my life.
Why do you think you've had so many?
I don't know. It started when I was a kid, and I was always very interested in UFOs from an early age. And I've been blessed with having these experiences. But I, like you, it's not that I have to analyze everything, but I don't automatically assume anything either.
Gotcha.
And I don't preach to the choir either. It's just like, this is what my experience was. Most of it I keep for myself. In fact, I don't think I've ever announced over on the air that I've seen UFOs. This might be a first. But in the case of Egypt, 50 people were there. We all had that experience together. And that's powerful.
Patricia, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've got to say so long for now. Continued success with the wonderful work you're doing to save the whales and the dolphins. And Exonation, if you'd like more information about Patricia, her website is www.theemissary.com. That's www.theemissary.net. I'm sorry, emissary.net. We'll be back on the other side of the news at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I don't know, 50 people seeing a UFO, everybody goes to Egypt, they know they're going to see a UFO, they believe they're going to see a UFO, but nobody brings a camera that can take a picture of that UFO. I'll be back, don't go away.